So once you've edited, like clicked edit with Elementor, this whole new panel pops up where you have your side panel and then you have your actual editing screen. And as you hover
Okay.
over these things, you see things, different things highlight that you can edit. So
Okay.
let's do like meet Cassie. So you see this little icon that pops up.
Mm-hmm.
So you click on that, and then you see right here that the actual text is here.
Okay.
So if you wanted to edit that, I'll take it out. But for example, there you go. So you edit it here, and it shows up here, and you can do it here as well.
Okay.
It's just easier. Well, I consider it easier just to be
Do
in
it
the
over.
actual panel meant for it. And then here you have your actual body copy. So
Mm-hmm.
you click that and you see that like a typical editor shows up with all your copy in it.
Okay.
And then if you want to edit stuff,
Okay.
you can see. Okay.
Now, quick question, like, let's just say I wanted to get crazy with the font. Is that under style
Yep.
at the top? Okay.
So I'll do it for this one, for example. So here, this is more about Cassie. There's this link field of where it goes into your internal page. So let's say I want to change the link.
Okay.
So here I'm going to change it. So I want it to go to your about page. If it's an existing page, you can just like clear it and then you like type in the name of the page. So if it was like uh, the actual book page, you'll see
Okay.
that it shows up. But
Okay.
the about, so I'm going to just select the about.
Okay.
And here, this is where you would select if it was an outside link, you would click open a new window because you don't want to take people away from your site if it's an outside link. So,
Okay.
but if it's internal, it's fine. You don't have to do that.
Okay.
So if you wanted to go crazy with what this text looks like, I'm going to switch to style and it's under typography.
Oh, okay.
And here, this is the one that I have set.
Okay.
You can expand it and then it loads Google's font library. So
To
if
say mountains of Christmas. Wow.
you really wanted to go crazy, there you go. You have
All righty.
font
I
library.
really hate that. So no. Thank
So,
you for not picking that one normally.
so okay, I don't like it. And I've gone several steps in and I want to revert. So I'm going to go click here and I'm going to go to history. I'm going to go back one to, okay, it's now back to the way I originally wanted it.
Oh, okay.
So you have like a history panel to revert stuff in case you make a mistake. If you accidentally, oh crap, I deleted this. Oh, I don't
Okay.
like it. So here we go, back in the history, it's back.
Oh, okay. That's good to know because I would have totally gone in full panic mode.
Okay. So, okay, I like this panel section right here, but I want it someplace else. And I want the same styles. So what I'm going to do, because this is a whole section that I want to duplicate, I'm going to go here, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to do duplicate.
Oh,
Now
okay.
I duplicated the entire section, and now I'm going to take this and move it where I want it. Obviously, this is not the best place, but yeah, you get the idea.
Oh, okay.
Another example is, let's say I have a heading, but I want to copy this heading because the default is not what I want it to be. So I'm going to right click on this little mini panel. I'm going to copy and go over here, right click and paste the styles.
Okay.
You can do that the same thing with body text. So like if I'm adding a completely new section, I'm going to first click the plus sign. I'm going to choose how many columns I want.
Okay.
Okay, so now I want an image in here. So there's the image block. So I'm going to drag that in. I want a heading. So I'm going to pop in the heading here. And I also want body copy. So this is the text editor. So obviously the styles are not matching. I have defaults for some things, but others, because there's changes throughout the site, there is none set. So I'm gonna right click on the heading here. I'm gonna copy this, paste the style of it. I'm gonna copy the body text, right click, paste the style of it. And I'm gonna duplicate this, move it over here.
Oh, okay.
For the image, okay, I want to actually choose something. So I click on the image here to edit it, and this panel shows up. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to choose an image from in here and click insert.
Okay.
If there's one that's not in here, I'm going to click to upload files, select files, and choose an image that is currently here on the site,
Okay.
like from your desktop. I mean.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so all right.
So what difference between copying the style and duplicating?
Duplicate like it's similar. Like if you, I guess
Like
it's
you duplicated the link, but then you copied the styles. That's what I was curious about.
it's more of a I was on a different page. I created all this setup, and then I didn't realize that I hadn't duplicated the styles that I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So then you would just copy and paste the styles that way. It's just two ways of doing it. Like you
Okay.
got so far into creating a section and then realize you didn't have the styles that you want. Instead of just duplicating an existing one, you can apply the same styles to the same block type by copying and pasting the styles.
Okay.
Okay, so here, I think the image is way too big and too wide, so I'm going to grab in between here and change how wide this image is. So that's something I like better.
Okay.
I think there's not enough padding in between here and the image, so I'm going to click this column. I'm going to say I want, I don't know, a 5% padding around all of it. You can play around.
Okay.
Yeah. If you wanted to do something different from top to bottom to left to right, you can just unlink all of them. And then you'll see that in this case, only the left is changing.
Oh, right. Okay.
Okay, so I like the padding better, but I want this stuff to be middle aligned to the image. So I'm going to take this entire section. You'll see a vertical line right here in the layout,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to do middle.
Oh, okay.
So now that whole section is looking better. More what I want. You'll also notice that there are, for example, in this one, there's a background image. So,
Yeah.
so I'm going to take this. You can add background images, for example, just the columns. So for this one, I'll go to style. Background type, I can choose a color. I can choose an image. And you'll see that it's only applied to that column.
Okay.
If I want it to be like through the entire layout, I would select the entire section and then go here and choose the background instead. And now it spans the entire section.
Oh, okay.
If you wanted to do something like I did here, where it's like in the bottom left-hand corner, okay, so I want it to be a custom position and make it so it doesn't repeat, and a custom size. So here you see that it's its original size. It's a pretty large, like tiled image that I created that
Mm-hmm.
wasn't pixelated, and you couldn't see the seams. So in this case, I want it to the far left and the bottom.
Oh, cool.
So now I've moved it to a different spot.
Gotcha.
So once you've done with all this, I'm going to click update, and that publishes all your changes.
Okay.
So in this case, I'm just going to do it and then click it. So there's a bunch of things that you can use in here. So you have your headings, your basic text areas, and your images, which you'll use the most often. You have buttons, you can put in your own videos, dividers and spacers, icons, and then you can just go through and try stuff out of whatever
Okay.
you want to play around with. So yeah,
Cool.
so I'm going to exit out of here. Okay, so that is the home page and how to add, remove, and modify different buttons. So the about page is a lot simpler, but same deal.
Yeah.
Okay, so same deal. You can edit your text, same blocks. You can switch out images if you like, but the editor is pretty much the same.
Okay.
Okay, same with the book. Okay, we're gonna go into, okay, so blog posts. So blog posts are even simpler. So here I'm logged into the back end. I'll go here to posts and all posts to see what, oops, I better actually do that. You'll see all the existing posts.
Okay.
If you want to edit anything existing, I'll go in here and click edit. And it's a basic text editor with your stuff in it. So in this
Okay.
case, I'm going to add my body text and then have a set featured image here. And this is where you'll be adding most of your SEO stuff going forward. So here at the bottom, you'll see this panel called Yoast SEO.
Okay.
So in this case, this is talking about the magic Mandarin. So you're going to choose a focus key phrase. So overall, when you're writing your post, you want to think about your main phrases that you want to be known for. Obviously, a phrase you're like a fantasy author is a semi-broad, but not too much, but not so like focused in that no one will search for it.
Right.
So you want to think about 10 to 15 keywords or phrases that you want to be known for. For just starting, I would start off with 10 because it's easier to manage. And you want to interject it in your blog posts and throughout the site in your copy as you're going forward. So in this case, I'm going to choose fantasy author as your key phrase. And then in the actual writing, it doesn't show up. So you want to consider your phrases of what can you actually write with. So an example would be to add this to this existing post would be as a fantasy author, comma, whatever. That is a way to add it.
Oh, okay.
Since this is very world specific, maybe you decide to expand it to be, okay, I'm going to have fantasy author Cassie Sanchez as like 2 general style key phrases. And then as I used in the current site, I have Pandaren or the world of Pandaren, because it's going to go throughout your entire book. And also Chasing the Darkness is like the entire series. So I use both of those as phrases.
Okay.
So maybe make sure I spell it correct.
Yeah, it's all right. I spelled it wrong a couple times in my own bloody book. So sometimes it was an I and sometimes an E. I'm like, oh, for the love of God.
Here, this one would be good to use like in this one right here.
Yeah.
Because it's actually showing you stuff. So I want actually this key phrase, this or word, to show up in my body copy. It does a couple of times. It shows up in the title here as well. And it also shows up here in the link.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna tailor this part to make sure that it shows up here. So here's the SEO title because it's different from what this is. Because I make sure that Cassie Sanchez is always tied to your posts and pages.
Okay.
So here, the slug I'm going to leave as it is, and then for the actual description, I'm going to pull here. Okay, I'm going to pull this phrase right here for right now. I'm going to modify the description in our book, Chasing Darkness. It doesn't do italics, so it'll be as it is.
Okay.
I created a world called Pandaren, where people called spectrals have magic. So now you'll see that it's highlighted here.
Okay.
So it recognizes that this keyword is also in the description. So this will be green until you get too long. So this means it's too long, and you'll see where it cuts off. So if you don't want it to cut off and just want you want a like specific endpoint, then just be mindful of that.
Okay.
Because you want this keyword to show up in the actual live portion. And then here, your featured image is the image that it's going to pull for this particular post.
Okay.
So now you have the slug, you have your title, you have your description. Cool, we're good. So now,
could you explain what a slug means? Because I've seen that before, but I wasn't really sure.
It's just the link.
Oh, the link. Okay.
So it's everything after your actual URL. So all this, everything after that is called slug.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So would good keywords or phrases like would magic be one? Assassin, I mean, romance, like would those be good or?
They're a little way too broad. It would be
Okay,
easy to show up in search engines with that generic of a phrase. So you have to think about your audience. Okay, if they're searching for a book like mine, what would they search for? So, like, that's why I put fantasy author because it's common, but it's a little bit more on the too common side, but it's a little bit more direct. So you have the potential to show up as time passes.
okay,
So you want to think about if they're searching for me, how would they search for me and what would they use?
okay,
It can't be so general that they'll never find me in the list of just author, because there's so many authors in the world, you'll never be found. But it can't be so like focused that no one would ever think of the word to ever search for you.
got you.
So it has to be somewhere a happy medium in between.
Okay. And then so each post needs to have 10 or so keywords or key phrases and mostly specific to that specific post.
No, actually, the
Oh,
entire site will have 10 to 15 keywords or phrases. You'll be
okay.
using one key phrase that matches this post that you're writing about. So this
Okay.
is all about the world of Pandaren. So this would be Pandaren, but you also keep in mind those 10 others, 10, 12 others that could potentially also fit that you can work into the text.
Okay.
So obviously Cassie Sanchez is all throughout the site and a lot is automatically popped in for you. So you don't really have to focus too much of having that in there. But I have Chasing the Darkness as a phrase in some of your other pages.
Okay.
So as you're writing, adding this is cool, but it doesn't necessarily have to be what is written here.
Okay.
So like after as you think of posts to write, sit down and also think, I want to definitely use these 10 phrases throughout the site as I'm writing.
Okay.
So you add only one on the actual post, but consider others that might also work. You don't have to use all 10 on one post. You can use,
Okay.
but as they consistently show up on pages throughout your site, some here, some there, some on posts that was done a week ago, some on posts showing up 3 weeks from now. As long as you're consistently using those phrases as you're writing, you're good.
Okay.
Okay. So here, I'm going to just save this. Okay, so next, I'm going to add a completely new one. So there's two places to do it, the button that I just pushed, or going to posts, add new.
Okay.
So here, I'm going to, let me think. Assassins. Yep. Assassins and Pandering. So I'm going to write all my text. If I'm adding an image, I'm going to click add image. I'm either going to upload something new or choose something from the gallery that's up here. Most likely you'll upload something new. For
Okay.
right now, I'm just going to choose the Grim Reaper. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to put in alt text. So here I'm going to put Pandaren. Let's do Reapers. Yep. And I'm going to do, it doesn't have to be the same, but it just makes sense for right now of having it repeated. This is for SEO purposes and also for like text readers. So if like someone who is blind, they have specific software that reads this.
Oh, okay.
And it tells them this is an image of Pandaren Reapers. That's what it'll tell them. Okay, so here we'll go down here. I want this to align to the right or floating to the right of the text. I don't want it to link to anything, and I want it to be, it's like a medium-sized image. Like you can choose different sizes in here.
Okay.
And I'm going to click Insert into Post. Now it's aligned to the right-hand side. Let me just grab a whole bunch of text. Just so. Okay, it's aligned to the right. You have all the text in here. I'm going to add my phrase here. So in this case, I'm going to use Pandaren again, because that's one of my phrases that I want to be known. So here it's in the title. I'm going to edit this to assassins are whatever else I'm going to say.
Okay.
I'm going to set a featured image. And make sure when I'm in here as well. So this is the Ashes series. In this case, I would put in the author. I forgot off the top of my head. So here, set featured image. Okay, so this is all good. So if you decide to batch write, like I'm going to write 5 posts right now because I have enough material for it, I'm going to click here and choose the date I want it to be published. So if you kind of update once a month only, I'm okay, today is the 5th, so I want it to post on February 5th. So, and then I choose a date, time. And you click OK and then schedule, and it'll automatically post itself on that date.
Oh, okay.
So that way, like if you have enough material for 5 blog posts, you can write them all at that once, and then you're good for 5 months.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then once you're done, click schedule. And it's scheduled, and you'll see then I'll post that's been scheduled. So I'm going to trash this. Okay. Okay, the next one is Pandaren. So this is the map that I'm going to show you how to edit. Because all this is the same as editing blocks and text as before, except for the map.
So is it easiest just to always edit with the Elementor?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can do it also by going to, if you're in the back end, you can go to pages.
Okay.
And then there's also a link in here too.
All right.
But if you have a lot of pages or something, that's like, it's just easier to be on the front end.
Okay.
Okay, so here is the map. So say you've updated the map and you want to switch it out. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to click the little edit icon, and then you'll see that the hotspots panel shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go in here. I'm going to upload the new map. Click Insert Media, and it'll update the image. If you want to actually change these guys, I'm going to open and expand the hotspots panel. And here I have the 4 hotspots. So since these are pre-styled and have things in them already, the easiest I find is just to duplicate an existing one. I'm going to go in here, I'm going to change the title right here. And then I'm going to change the text. And then I'm going to switch the position. Oops. Okay, you see right here, this is where the Doom one showed up. So obviously I want to move this. So here are a bunch of sliders, well, 2. And I'm going to change the horizontal position. And you see it's now moved. I want to move up to the iron bank. So I'm going to move it over a little bit more. That's good. And I move this up. That's too much. There we go. So here, Iron Bank. So in that case, I'm going to change the title. And there we go.
Okay. Okay. That's the map. Okay, we're going to go into music and more. Okay. Okay, so here we are in the music and more section. Okay.
So I want to duplicate an existing section because it's already set up for me, so I can add a new playlist. So I'm going to right click on this, click duplicate. So here's a copy of this. There's a divider in here, so I'm going to go over here. I'm going to find the divider, and I'm going to drag that in. I'm going to change the title, and I'm going to open up this playlist. Okay, so I'm going to go back here real quick. Okay, so I'm going to have the title, I have the text that I'm going to write, and then I'm going to click edit for this particular block. And you'll see that this edit panel shows up. So I'm going to delete what's in here. And I want this playlist.
Okay.
So I'm going to click the 3 dots, I'm going to click share, and then copy embed code. I'll go back here and paste the embed code in here.
Oh, cool.
Okay, what I'm reading, if you decide to add more, all you have to do is just duplicate the section and then switch out the image and the text for it.
Okay.
If I wanted to add a completely new panel that's similar to this, so okay, or one that actually has the heading. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go all the way to the bottom and I'm going to click paste. It's now completely new. So new title. I want to switch out this image. So I'm going to click the full panel section, go to style. Here's the background image. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to go to my media library and choose an image. Let's do this one. Insert media. And there we go. And if I wanted to do something similar to this guy, I'm going to copy this entire section, paste it down here, or you can duplicate it. I'm going to change the subheading, and then I'll switch out to whatever I want this content to be.
Okay.
And once I'm done, I click update. So there's a bunch of ways you can copy and duplicate things, as I've shown you. So you can either, if something's way up here and it's a long page and I want to copy this section, instead of having to just duplicate and drag it to the bottom, I'll just copy it and paste it at the bottom.
Okay.
And also, since it's the same site, if I want this panel on a different page, here's my about page, I can also paste it in here.
Okay.
So I've thrown a lot at you. What questions do you have for me?
Um, right now, oh, okay. So I think I know how to do this, but like, if I want it, like, so like in this writing 21st century fiction right here, there's a link to Stephen King's memoir. How, like, if I want to link to a different post, I think I remember you just, obviously you hit that, you highlight the word and then you hit the link button. Is that? Okay. And then just, I can type which page it would go under. Like, let's say it was going to the adjectives page or my post about adjectives. Yeah. Okay. And then I just click on that. Okay.
And make sure that you click apply.
Okay.
Otherwise, it'll just like, you didn't save me, so I'm not going to do anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
One more thing I actually want to show you is if you wanted to add new pages and add it to the actual menu. So adding new pages, so you're going to go here. I'm going to click add new. This is adding completely blank. Okay, so click add new. I'm going to put my new page title. I want the template to be full width. I'm going to set a featured image in here. It can be whatever you want, whatever the page focus is. I put in my focus keyword like we did on the posts, and all this SEO is the same.
Okay.
And then I'm going to click publish. so that saves the main like layout setup. And then click edit with Elementor.
What over on the right it says page attributes and parent. Is there anything to do with that? I remember.
This is if you want to put it below, like okay, this particular. Okay, so if this was a subpage of Chasing Darkness, so let's say that you decided I want to do specific pages about different parts of Pandren's world. And I want it to be focused where it's underneath the book itself. So it's like the link is CassieSanchez.com/Chasing the Darkness / Ironbark.
Okay.
So in this case, let me just do Iron Bank, sorry.
Actually, you were right with Ironbark, but it's fine. Either one is fine. That tree is in the wrong spot, I was seeing.
So here, okay, so Ironbark, I'm gonna put it as a subpage of that.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna click update and you'll see how it changes. So you see the link now has changed to Chasing the Darkness /Ironbark.
Okay.
So this is a more of a, okay, I want to organize my stuff in a certain way. And then they are, since Chasing the Darkness is the overall series, then anything involving that series should technically be under that book. So if you were doing, okay, you have Chasing the Darkness series, you have Chasing the Light as a different series. So that would be a way of organizing all your content in a more strategic manner. So that, let's say you have the white tree, but that only belongs to Chasing the Light series.
Okay.
So you would pop, okay, the white tree would be Chasing the Light / the white tree.
Got you. So this is when I'm super famous and write more than one book. Awesome.
So, okay, so now I'm going to open up the actual editor. And now we have a completely blank page that I can work with. So there are two ways you can add additional elements. So, okay, so here I want it to match everything else. So I'm going to open my navigator and I'm going to copy this section. I'm going to paste it in here. And I'm going to change this to Pandaren. Because even though the keyword is Ironbark, I'm adding Pandaren to it because it's keywords used elsewhere.
Okay.
Then I'm going to change my subtext here to whatever I want it to be. Just right over. And then I will continue by adding different elements of what I want. Into it. Etc., etc., etc.
Okay.
Here, I look at this, I'm like, it's too close to this. I want more spacing. I'm going to add margins to the top and bottom. So now I like the spacing.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And then in case, like, okay, I have an image here. This is way too close to each other. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to put 30 padding around it. so you can play around.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to save this as a draft so you can go in here and play if you want. Okay, so let's say that I don't want to go through all that and I just want to duplicate your about page so you don't have to go through all that. So I'm going to go over here into pages. The about page is what I want to duplicate, so I'm going to click clone. It created a draft page for me. So then I'll go in and edit this. I'm going to change out all this text to whatever I want it to be, whatever my like my titles and all that jazz, whatever my keyword is. I'm going to set a featured image, and then I'll go in, edit with Elementor, and you'll see that the entire page has been duplicated.
Oh.
So this is a fast way of, I like the style of this page, I'm just going to clone it and then change the text.
Okay. Yeah, that's easier.
Yeah. Okay, and then the last one is menu. So if you go to Appearance, Menus, you'll see that this is your main menu. So since, okay, so here you'll see the new page that I created.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to add it to this actual menu list. So I selected this, and I click Add to Menu. It gets added to the bottom, and I take this, drag this up, and pop it under the book.
Okay.
So in this case, since now this has sub-items for user experience purposes, I am going to add another drop-down item that is also the same as this. So the book is technically Chasing the Darkness. So this is the same page. I'm going to add it. I'm going to drag this up here. And here we go. Because I'm thinking in the process of if they, when drop downs happen, it happens when you hover over them. So they might not realize that this top level one is linked.
Okay.
Why I've basically duplicated this menu item and added it as a drop down as well.
Gotcha.
And then once you're done, you click Save Menu.
Okay.
I think I've covered it.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot. I recorded it so you can review it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was playing with some of this, before I found you, and so some of it is very familiar. So it's not totally like learning a new language, but it's still it's good. It'll be great. Never touching it. No, I'm just kidding.
Most of the time, you're going to be doing most of your stuff in the posts anyway.
Yeah.
And if you have issues, you can always like refer back to because I'll post it on YouTube and it'll always stay there for your reference.
Okay.
And then, or be like, Jess, you remind me how I do this.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was going to ask you. Like if I need to get a hold of you, is the best way through Readsy now, or should I just, can I get a hold of you privately? How does that work?
It's up to you. Some people, like one of the guys that I do stuff for, he prefers doing everything through Reedsy. Most of the others just go offline because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so
why don't we just go offline if I need to, once we're all done and stuff.
I'm just gonna pop my, where'd it go? There it is. Um, that's my direct email.
Okay.
So yeah, you can just message me directly.
Okay.
So section 2, I'm gonna go through your forms and your call to actions and show you how to set that up going forward. Because I have some text stuff I have to do to connect the actual, so it's talking to MailChimp.
Okay. Yeah.
Because once I connect it, you won't have to deal with any of that stuff anymore unless it yells at you about it.
Okay.
So it's no reason to be on while I'm doing it. I'll do a quick run through of what's actually connected to what, but for the most part, you won't really need to mess with any of it going forward.
Okay. Cool.
Alrighty.
All right. Well, I love it. I'm very excited. Yay.
I'm glad you like it. I want to read it.
Yeah, it's kind of shocking to like I told my husband, I'm like, it's just kind of weird that I actually have content on a page. Because like before I'm like, I don't have anything to say. So I really appreciate your help just creating ideas and
Mhm.
coming up with stuff and making it look pretty and cool and fun.
Well, feel free to be like, oh, what do you think of this? Or what about this content do you think people would be interested?
Yeah, I would love to pick your brain on stuff because um like I said, I'm so new at this and just trying to figure it out and yeah, all of that stuff. So that would be great. Thank you.
Once you get the like odds and ends sorted, um, we can delve into the actual, okay, how do we get in front of the fantasy people that would actually be interested in reading it? Because I'm
Yeah.
actually crossing to um, like Reddit sphere,
Hmm.
and that because that's where people that would be interested would more likely hang out. But yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do that later.
Yeah. Actually familiar with Reddit. I've seen that, so that's good. Um, but yeah, no, that's all super great and yeah, awesome. I'm gonna go take a nap. No, just kidding. It's awesome. No, I'm excited. So, okay, cool. So then Friday, does that work for you that time to go
Yep.
over that? Okay, perfect.
Cool. Alrighty then.
All right. Well, you have a great day and thank you so much. And I will chat with you in a couple days.